The poem I'm going to read right now is a poem for a student I had at a private non-profit school when I first moved here, and I was teaching him in 1999, I think. So it's been some time. And in honor of Cinco de Mayo as well as this student, since he was Mexican, and this poem has never been published, and I thought it was important to have it find some home somewhere. I've been told it's an excellent poem, but that doesn't seem to matter, at least the past few years or so, in the what I like to call the po-biz. But this poem is not about the po-biz. This poem is called Red Bird Boy, for Hector. Red Bird Boy flew with his familia to El Norte. Mama, 2 older brothers, a younger sister, and her father, not his padre, only hers. They landed on the mean streets of Kansas City, Kansas, the rival of any such, anywhere. Later, he described hitching rides in traffic on moving trucks and buses. First, he watched his brothers, then tried it himself, alone. Fear for that boy back in Mexico, the child sitting beside me now. I am so glad you are here, I tell him. After several months running 10th and Central, this alternative school, punishment for bringing a gun to 4th grade. An automatic year's suspension. He found it, he said, in a vacant lot. His probation officer arranged for him to talk with the gringo therapist at Wyandotte Mental Health who spoke Spanish. I passed on what I found out. Bruises, including black eyes, and stories that made my hair stand on end. Is it good for the children? Advertisements on buses asked. I dialed the abuse hotline, and something called family preservation and a social worker from Peru were assigned. Not long after, he wrote, "Flowers of the sky, the little bird, how beautiful he is, red as blood flowing from our veins." He told me about watching a man in his village die a suicide. Despondent after shooting his girlfriend, then himself, he drove his truck into the river and finally drowned. El mundo malo followed the familia here. Guns, drugs maybe, abuse certainly, and petty crime, 10 years old, and diagnosed deaf in one ear. Irreversible damage. When he told me this, he added with a small smile, and my papa, who was not his, and never would be, apologized. For what? I asked, knowing the answer. He shrugged his shoulders. I could have cried. A good man who works hard, the family pres worker insisted, meaning the state of Kansas wasn't going to spend too much money on this child. He wished to fly, hands outstretched, wings black as night spread open in the wind, calling, "Beautiful bird, come home." Each morning I wrote his stories down, grateful he was alive. One day he brought a favorite tape, a Mexican band who sang a song called Los Amigos de la Luna. Someone took a picture of the 2 of us, a woman and a boy, old before their time, who knew, like the owl and the pussycat, how to dance by the light of the moon. Hector would be in his late 20s, and I wish him well and hope that he has had a really good life and it will continue to be so.